Hey there, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spectrum Talk. And we got a bit of an episode here today. I know this is coming right after a very interesting episode. I know that one I wanted to do a little cross promotion from my other show, Reel to Reel, but which even though that one's a bit different than what's usually on that particular show, I still liked it. Thought it was fun. But now we're back with something a little bit more in line with what we usually talk about. Though this is going to be more gaming focused. I'm always kind of sit around games because I love games. I love the art form. But we recently just had a bunch of shows, a bunch of showcases, a lot of big reveals, stuff like that, and also some other news that we're going to get into. I got at least an hour's worth of content here, even though I really don't like doing the solo episodes, even though I did them for a while. I don't know, it's just better. It's not only I find better to listen to, but it's also just better to do when there's multiple people to bounce ideas off of. And not just multiple people, but like-minded people. Also people that aren't just tired. But yeah. So, which one should I tackle first? You know what? Let's go with this one. This is an article that just came out today. Might as well talk about it because it's going to be in the title. Yeah, Marathon's dead. Marathon and Bungie, dead. I don't care what they say. Yeah, that thing's dead. With all the controversy that they've had, for those that don't know, getting caught for the fifth time plagiarizing someone's artwork. This time, it's artwork that's involved in a brand new game and not a current ongoing one. The other ones were with Destiny 2, and it dealing with a lot of the marketing, since the artwork and style is used in the marketing, which is why Marathon's virtually disappeared. Like, they announced it, set it up, it's coming out September 23rd, 2025, get ready. They did an alpha, which was terrible. It's not fun. It's kind of pretty, but it's not fun. It's really hard. You have no chance if you're solo, but it's not even really that fun to play if you have friends. And the gunplay, which was going to be the one saving grace because Bungie does great gunplay, apparently isn't good. It's just not a good game. They've been working on this thing for years. I mean, they announced it 2 years ago, and it's been worked on since long before that. So it's really, really sad to see this. But still, they were like, yeah, it's coming out. We're going to work on it. We're going to do a beta. And they were ramping up for this big marketing campaign. And you saw the money they spent on the marketing. They had that short film and all the trailers and all that. And then these plagiarism accusations get thrown out with proof. And now all that marketing's disappeared. We also would have assumed that Marathon was going to have some sort of showing at State of Play or at Summer Games Fest or all these other things, since it's Bungie's next big thing, and it's also Sony's next big games as a service, since they've canceled most of their other games as a service. This is their big one, especially. I mean, it's gonna be the first one after the awful failure of Concord, which resulted in that company disappearing, and also the game being just disappeared and people being refunded. And that game didn't have crazy controversy with it. They just spent a bunch of money on a game nobody wanted to play and then gave up on it. It was a disaster. This is a just crazy disaster on another level. Because of the plagiarism issues, they can't use any of their marketing material. Otherwise, they would be using it. They also they never announced a price. Like, we got a release date before we got a price. Because people were asking, is it going to be, despite you really showing not a whole lot here, is this going to be a full price title? Is it going to be a $60 or $70 game? And the only thing they said, it was going to be premium, but possibly not full price or whatever. But yeah, I didn't see anything in any of the showcases. We haven't seen anything since the last reveal. And even when they did another live stream where they talked about it, they didn't show any gameplay or new stuff because I don't think they can because of the plagiarism stuff. Because so much was stolen and ingrained in what the game is. Everyone being like, this game isn't coming out. At the very least, it's getting delayed. I was one of those people. I don't think this game's coming out. I think if it comes out, it's going to be... If it comes out, it's not going to be in September. I don't know how they save this thing, at least not in a year's time. If the alpha had gotten rave reviews, people were really excited about it, that's one thing. But the fact that everything about this game, people are like, this kind of sucks. And then you're just adding more crap to the heap of bullshit. It's not good. It sucks. I'm a Marathon fan. I was really excited to see some sort of continuation going back to this world, even though it's completely different than what the original games were. But still, and it looks like they're just squandering that opportunity. But today, over on IGN and several other sites, but they posted an article where they interviewed the CEO, Herman Holst, CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment Studios Business Group, and talked to him about Marathon and other things. And I noticed some really interesting things he said in here. It was an investor-focused interview. Okay. So there's something that happens in this interview that I thought was strange that the reporter didn't, but now I'm saying it's an investor-focused interview. Okay, so they're just reporting what they heard during this interview. They didn't actually get to ask the questions. It wasn't a one-on-one. Interesting. So here's the interesting part of it. So they asked him, shareholders asked him, what did they ask him? Why is the question not after this? I have to look for what question. Oh, they relating the Concorde disaster, how does it relate to Marathon, Bungie's in-development extraction live service shooter? He responded, admitting that feedback to Marathon's recent alpha test had been varied, but insisted that the game will be released during Sony's current fiscal year, ending March 31st, 2026. And promised that the mistakes it made with Concorde would not be repeated. So here's an interesting little tidbit here. This game has a release date. This has a release date. Now, it doesn't mean lots of things have release dates and they get pushed back and get delayed, but it has one. And in this meeting, he didn't say it's launching September 25th or 23rd. I mean, he didn't mention the release date. He said it's going to launch by the end of our fiscal year, ending in March 31st, 2026. Which, yes, it could still launch on its launch date, but that he doesn't sound real confident. Otherwise, he would just say we're scheduled to launch on the release date. He said no, it's going to launch by the end of our fiscal year, which kind of tells me something. It seems like he's talking about a delay without using the word delay, especially since he's talking to investors. He doesn't want to say delay. He doesn't want them to freak out and start selling. So yeah, that's pretty much saying a delay without saying the word delay. If he was confident that it was going to launch when it's supposed to launch, he would have said the release date that they already put out there. Let me see here. So when the launch comes, we're going to give the title the optimal chance of success. Oh, that's another interesting quote. Oh, that's crazy. So when it comes, ooh, that's not great. So yeah, and this is all part of all the controversy and horribleness that's followed Bungie, their mass layoffs, which apparently aren't the fault of Sony, but actually Bungie. They're burning through money so fast, and in order to keep Sony from taking over, they're just firing people like crazy. Within a year, they fired 750 people, or 750 people left the company, 320 of which were laid off. The other ones got moved around to other studios within Sony and PlayStation. So yeah, not great. Not great at all. In fact, really, really, really bad. This deal that Sony did buying Bungie is just awful. Just $4 billion for what? All this problem. And now you have a whole they spend tens of millions of dollars on marketing. And they had that ready to go. They're going to do the rollout. They bought the slots, probably, the web pages, TV time, everything. And now they can't use any of it. because of plagiarism. So now they're having to basically burn all that money and then restart marketing from scratch. And then it's just, basically you're doubling your marketing budget but only getting half of what you use. That's just awful. Just terrible. And then from some anonymous sources and ex-developers at Bungie are saying they're hoping, or some anonymous current developers, but they hope that Sony takes over and they're just waiting for it because they believe Sony will right the ship. At the very least, they'll stop the fires because morale is so bad over at Bungie. This is just very sad. So sad that all this is happening. Sad they've been caught plagiarizing for the 5th time. The 5th time in 4 years. That's maybe you got a problem. Just saying. And every time they say it's an art guy that no longer works here, I'm thinking that excuse is a lie. That's all I'm going to say. I think it might be a lie. Just craziness. So yeah. This guy talking to investors saying, instead of giving the release date, saying it's going to be at the end of the fiscal year, the very least. Giving you a 7-month window from the announced release date to the end of their fiscal year. Yeah, they are not confident in that release date. They are trying to scramble and figure out how to save this project, if at all. And even if this project didn't have all this controversy, Marathon was going to have to light the world on fire and outdo Call of Duty in order to save Bungie from getting taken over. So it definitely ain't doing that now. It really wasn't going to do it before, and now it definitely isn't. So that's just... This is all just sad. I'm just hoping whatever happens, the actual developers get taken care of. I did find out something about that $3.7 billion that they spent to buy Bungie, which was a terrible deal for everyone but the Bungie executives. But Sony included $1.2 billion of that to pay for the salaries of the staff and keep their current number of employees, which was around 1,600. Which is admittedly large, absolutely insane number of developers. But still, they were like, yeah, here you go for that. And then Bungie was like, okay, and then started layoffs anyway. So they just suck. The people running that studio are just terrible. Just awful. So yeah, Marathon's dead. I don't think that game's coming out. Like, I don't think... I think... It might if they're able to if they right the ship a bit, but if there's one more big stumble that costs billions of dollars, I think they just shut it down. I think that's it. I think Sony just says no and doesn't accept it. So that's kind of where I'm leaning. Yeah, which is really really unfortunate. And I was excited for that game too. It's so sad. People just suck. That's all it is. People just suck. But now on to the fun stuff. The shows, the showcases, all the big announcements and news. I'm going to cover the 3 big ones. I tried to look to see if I could find a roundup of all of them. But no one's done that, which sucks because there were also like those little mini showcases, the PC showcase, which apparently was terrible, and a bunch of other ones that had some announcements. But we're just going to cover the big 3: State of Play, PlayStation, Summer Game Fest, and Microsoft or Xbox. And we're going to do it in order. So I'm just going to go off the things that caught my eye. One of which was this announced here? Oh no, this wasn't announced here. It wasn't shown off at the State of Play, was it? And it was announced beforehand in like a tweet, which was strange. But they did talk about it at the Xbox thing. I'll just put it here because it has to do with PlayStation. Gears of War is coming to PlayStation. They're doing another remaster of the first game, Gears of War Reloaded, and it's coming out on PlayStation 5, which is cool. I'm all for that. It's also going to be on Xbox and PC, and people who already have Gears of War Ultimate, which was the original remaster of the first game, get Reloaded for free. They even sent me a code, like in my Xbox messages. I was like, who's this from? It's like, here's your code to get Reloaded, blah, blah, blah. And that comes out in August. I'm all for more people being able to play Gears of War. It's a great series. Only thing I think is weird about this is, one, how they announced it. They, like, here's a tweet. Yeah, the rumors are true. Gears of War coming. But the fact that it's only the first game. We've already had a remake of the first game. Or a remaster. I don't know how you make that game that much prettier. Like, it's... without just changing the art style or starting from scratch and doing a complete from ground up remake. So I have no idea. It could, but the other thing is they only did the first game. They didn't do 2 or 3 or any of the others. Or I guess the only other one would have been Judgment. They only did 1, and they're doing 1 again. And if we're trying to, expand this out to everybody and get PlayStation players in, why not do the trilogy? Also, I want to play the trilogy remastered. Like, let's just do it. Are they going to piecemeal it? That seems interesting. I don't get it. I mean, I get it for money, but piecemealing it seems interesting when you can already get all of these games and play them. And by the way, they still play great and they still look great. Those things were technical showcases of the Unreal Engine on the 360. And then playing them on the Series X with all the upgrade stuff they get, I think you can play 120 frames a second. At least 60. One of them had a high FPS mode. All I know is look incredible. In fact, I think look better than the remaster of the first game. There's something about the remaster that just hits my eyes wrong. There's something about it. Because I also went back and played, it was like last year or so, I was like, I'm going to play through all Gears of War games again. And I did. And it was awesome. And I played the remaster. Because it also has levels that were only in the PC version, which came out years later. And they put them all together in one, and that was a lot of fun. But I also downloaded and played the 360 original. That game looks great, but I like the look of it better. There's parts of the remaster that I like they clean up some of the jagged edges, they sand some stuff down, but they change a bit of the lighting and the color, and I don't like it. There's just something about it that doesn't look right. Still a good-looking game, but then you play 2 and 3, and it's like, holy crap. And then Judgment, I forgot how good-looking that game was. Holy crap. But yeah. Interesting that wasn't in the state of play. I thought that would have been big news. Interesting. Ties of Tomorrow, which is like multiplayer, asynchronous, multiplayer oceanic adventure. Basically like a futuristic Sea of Thieves. There were multiple Sea of Thieves-like games announced. I remember that. Was it Anchors Away? Oh, no, Sea of Remnants also kind of looked like Sea of Thieves, though it's more of an action RPG. We didn't get any other details on that. It just looked good. I got what I thought was going to be Journey 2, but it's called Sword of the Sea. But it looks like Journey 2. That comes out August 19th. They shut off more of Silent Hill F. I am excited. I am so freaking excited for this game. It looks terrifying and beautiful. That's coming out September 25th. It's a few days after Marathon was supposed to come out. That game's not coming out. But on PS5 and Xbox and everything else, looks incredible. I have high hopes for this. Bloober Team's incredible remake of 2 really gave me a lot higher hopes for the franchise that things might be going better. Though I did see a bit of an trending upward with Silent Hill. Though Ascension is terrible. I mean, we all know 1, 2, 3 incredible games. 4 very divisive because half that game is terrible. And I don't mean story-wise or anything else. I mean half that game is a really long escort mission that's incredibly hard and isn't fun to play. So most people just don't. They choose not to. And getting the endings is really difficult. And they don't really tell you what you need to do. And it's obtuse. But it has some of the best atmosphere. It has a crazy story. It's like the most horror of a lot of the games because of a lot of the themes that it deals with. Unfortunately, it's just really screwed up. But apparently they re-released it on PC recently and fixed some issues. But that's like a fundamental issue. Like, you'd have to just remake that whole part of the game to fix it. But that one's a bit underrated, but it makes sense why people don't like it. But we got, the Holy Trinity, and then you got 4, which is divisive, and then really went off a cliff after that. After that, you got, I don't remember the exact order, but you got Origins on the PSP. That's a good game. Good game. I probably say it's better than 4. Its story is kind of all over the place, and we didn't really need a prequel to Silent Hill and yada, yada, yada. But I would say it's better than 4 just because it's, you're actually able to play the damn thing, and it's not fighting you the whole damn time. But I would say it's weaker. It's one of the weaker ones. Shattered Memories, which is the reimagining of Silent Hill 1 on the Wii. That's a good one. That's a really good one. Still doesn't really stand up to the others. But that's a good one. I really like that. I really like a lot of what they did. It's a lot more psychological. They really lean into it. I also don't like some of the story changes. But other than that, that game was really, really good. And then you get, what was it? Book of Memories, that weird PS Vita game. It's like a dungeon crawler that's terrible. Like, what the hell that was about. Awful game. Then Homecoming. People don't like Homecoming, and I agree. Though I have to play it. It's been a long, 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 long time. I might appreciate it more. But yeah, that one kind of falls just flat. And then Downpour, I only played a little bit of, but I think the reason people didn't like that game was less because of its story and more because the game didn't work. Like, that game tried to kill itself on the 360. Terrible frame rates, crashing, just a broken mess. If most people played it and didn't have issues with it, were actually able to get immersed and not have to worry about the stupid video game not working, then it probably would have been reviewed a lot more favorably. But even then, still not touching the first 3 or 4. Or even Origins. And then we didn't get Silent Hill for a while. Then we got PT. Oh, it's so great, I can't wait. And then they cancel it. Fuck them. You get a movie that's okay, and then a sequel that's awful. You get some pachinko machines and an arcade game. I don't know what the hell they were doing there. And then you get... then they kind of just went away for a while. There might have been some more stuff, but I don't remember. I know they announced this Silent Hill 2 movie that they've been working on. They've been working on for like a decade, and we've seen almost nothing of it. They did a really extensive behind the scenes, but other than that, we don't know shit about this movie. We haven't gotten a trailer or a release date. I don't know what's taking them so long. Like, they've been working on this movie for a long time. Maybe it's because they're trying to make it good. And which good, you should do that. My fear is, because they filmed this whole thing. It's filmed. And if it's Silent Hill 2, I wouldn't imagine the special effects are taking that much time. Like, there's going to be some effects in it. And I mean special effects. I mean like computer graphics, visual effects. There's going to be stuff with the town, the fog, and other stuff they're going to add in. But it's not like a Transformers movie or an Avengers movie, unless they just decide to do that for some reason to make everything CG. That would just be a pain in the ass for everybody involved. But I've seen the creatures. I've seen the people in the suits and the behind-the-scenes footage. It looks great production design-wise. And even the sets and everything. I don't know what you really need to add visually effects-wise from what they've shown on their behind-the-scenes. Like, they have made sets that look like Silent Hill, fog included. Just like, of course, with those other 2 movies, the production design was top notch. It was everything else that was a problem, especially in that second movie. That second movie is god awful. That's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. That movie is terrible. It's one of the worst. I wish I could say it was the worst thing at Silent Hill, but it's not. It's one of the worst things. But yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on with that movie. But other than that, they kind of went silent for a while, and then they showed up with a bunch of Silent Hill projects. They announced a bunch of them, including the Silent Hill 2 remake. But the first one to release, I think, was Ascension. It was either Ascension or Short Message. I hope it was Ascension because that looks a lot better. Because Ascension was fucking awful. That's the worst thing they've ever made. That is the worst thing. This weird, stupid, like choose your own adventure CG show. That's awful. It is terrible. The choose your own adventure shit didn't work. It was confusing. The writing was awful. The acting was, the direction, the writing, the acting, all of it terrible. All of it awful. In every single way imaginable. Oh yeah, there was also the HD collection, which was a bungled piece of shit. That was terrible. I forgot about that. Because they kind of took away everything that made the games good, because they didn't have the original source code to give to the guys who were, cleaning it up, and didn't give them enough time to actually make a good game, and then they changed the voice line, but whatever. Don't play those versions. They're not good. But let me see here. So yeah, PT and then Silent Hills gets canceled, and that was 2014, and then we didn't get anything till almost 10 years later in 2023. Ascension was first, thank God, because this looks a lot better if Ascension was first. Ascension comes out 2023, god awful. Don't watch it. It's on Tubi or whatever. Don't fucking watch that piece of shit. That show is awful. When they announced all this stuff, they announced Ascension. They showed off some stuff, but they didn't announce Short Message. I remember they did like a few different press conferences, and one of them had everything they were working on in one big deal. I think F was announced last, the one that's coming out in September. Of course, recently we had another one where they just came out just by themselves, being like, "Hey, Bloober Team did such a great job with Silent Hill 2. We're making them remake Silent Hill 1." Which, hell yeah. Though just one? Like, one's great. Let's do it. Let's remake it. Let's do it. But, like, I kind of want 3. One's already been remade once. I think you should have started with 1. It's crazy you made them prove themselves by remaking one of the most cherished games of all time. You didn't have them start on the easier one. But I'm all for that. That's crazy. That got announced just a day or so ago. So I'm very excited for that. I can't believe Bloober Team has made up for the horribleness of the medium and all that, showing they do not understand trauma or mental illness, and they're really insensitive to it. Just a lot of horrible shit. I was really scared for the remake of 2. I was like, man, they're going to make a game where they're like, James was right. It's not, ugh. But let's get back to the list. Ascension, terrible, don't watch it. The next thing is the Short Message in 2024, which was this free, we thought it was going to be a demo, it didn't know what it was, comes out. It's this free anti-suicide PSA. And the game has really high highs and really low lows. The lows being partly how the story is told, some of the acting and the writing. But I really, really, really liked it. I gave it about a 3 out of 5. And the ending's kind of ham-fisted. But it has some of the scariest shit I've seen in Silent Hill. It has some of the scariest depictions of trauma. There's a part where you're like walking in this room again and again and again, and time keeps changing and you're changing. You get like shorter and then get taller as you're growing up as a kid, living through this abusive household. It talks about, it's all about teenage suicide. And what's interesting about that story is it doesn't take place in America. It's in like Germany, which was weird in of itself. Because I'm pretty sure the girl and then the other girl in the story is also Asian, which when I first saw it, I was thinking, oh, it's Japanese, because I think they seem to be going in this Japanese direction, which that's cool, whatever. But then it's like, oh, we're in Germany, and it's like, okay, but that kind of leans into this new thing that they're doing, because Ascension also isn't in Silent Hill. I don't remember where the fuck Ascension was. I think it was someplace in Europe. I don't care. But there's this new idea that Silent Hill might be growing or moving, which is something that kind of started in 4, because 4 isn't in Silent Hill either. It's in another town. This idea that the entity is moving. It might be growing across the world, and that's really fucking cool. Apparently F is standalone, but I don't completely believe them. I think they're going to tie something into it. Because they put all this weird lore shit in a free anti-suicide PSA. Wow. The gameplay in that PSA gets a little bit repetitive, though it does have a crazy cool monster design, and then the difficulty ramps up like crazy at the end for some reason. But I overall enjoyed it. I think I said it was the best thing to come out for Silent Hill in a decade, if not more. And looking at this, I was right. Because the only other thing was PT. And after PT was Ascension. So I was right. And I give it high praise because even though it was ham-fisted, very, very ham-fisted, and obviously written by adult men and not by women, or at the very least not a lot of women, and definitely not written by teenagers. These people don't talk like teenagers. They don't talk like kids. They don't really talk like people. But I give it high praise because of what they were trying to do. Because teen suicide in general is a very serious topic. And I was really scared they were going to go in some weird way with it. But the fact that this game takes a stance and it's like, by the way, this isn't a horror game. We're not doing this to scare you. We're doing this to spread awareness and to tell you, they give you all the different suicide hotlines. They're like, hey, don't do this. We have an epidemic of teen suicide in Japan and all this, and you could tell some of these people were affected personally by it, and they wanted to put out PSA and use the weight of both Konami and Silent Hill to put out that PSA, and I think that was incredible. I think that was laudable and incredible, and I think they should keep getting praise for that, and more people need to do that. I think if they had spent a little bit more time on it, it would have been better as a game, but it wasn't really made to be a game. That was not its main intent, and they couldn't spend a whole lot of time on it, and it was free, so they weren't really going to get a return on investment on it, because this is a business at the end of the day. But it still had pretty high production value. It was like in 2-3 hours, not that long, but they put it out for free. It's a PSA. They're trying to do something good with that, and they use their brand to do that. And I thought that was awesome. I really thought that was incredible. So, got short message after Ascension. Wow. Okay. Power gap. Ascension's basically game of the year. Ascension's terrible. Short message is like game of the year in comparison. It's like one of the greatest things ever made in comparison because Ascension is terrible. And the short message is just 3 out of 5. So like they show they're improving. It's just the top of this mountain now is not the best thing in the world, but they show that at least they're improving. Then you get Silent Hill 2 remake. Absolutely incredible. Holy shit, they nailed it. That is, by the way, and I didn't think this was going to be possible. Because everything, I don't know who's at Konami's marketing, but they need some new marketing guys. Or something, because leading up to Silent Hill 2, now what they've shown with F looks a lot better, but everything they showed about the remake didn't look good to me. There was something, like they had a whole thing about, the combat, and showing how it's like an action game now, which it's not at all. I don't know what the hell that was about. And everyone was like, this looks bad. Also, the frame rate's bad, everything's bad. It doesn't, we were really, really scared. And then you have Bloober Team's issues, and then Konami's history of issues, like, oh god, they're going to ruin this thing. Silent Hill 2 Remake is the definitive version of Silent Hill 2. It's incredible. It is the best version of this game. It surpasses the original in just about every way. There's a few where the original is still up there, mainly in some performances. But holy shit, this game is incredible. It's terrifying. Its atmosphere is oppressive. And it's powerful. Like, they nailed this. I'm very excited to see that they're doing the remake. And then the other two things is they announced the other day they're doing a remake of the first game, which is cool. And then something called Silent Hill Townfall. We have seen absolutely nothing of Townfall. We don't know what this thing is. No clue. Don't know what this is. Don't know what it's going to be about. We assume it's Silent Hill. It was announced back in October 2022 with a reveal trailer. Developed by No Code. Don't know who that is. Published by Annapurna Interactive. And they just recently... By the way, Annapurna Interactive's publishing, exploded recently. So I don't know what's going on with that. Let's see who these guys. No Code. British game developer in Glasgow, Scotland. Wow. Calling them British. And then... man. That's fucked up. That's messed up, guys. They're Scottish. Come on, get it right. Let's see. Android games. Last thing they did was Observation. What is Observation? This player in control of a space station AI. Cover the sudden mysterious loss of its crew. I don't know this game. What's it, what are they known for? What's the reviews? 8s, 9s, and 10s. Oh, hey, look at there. Though the Metacritic kind of a little bit lower. 79 PC. Though it got British Academy of Scotland Awards, Best Game. It won that. Won the Creativity Award. It was nominated for Best Audio Design, Best Visual Design. The Independent Developers Association Awards. Golden Joystick gave it nominated for Best Storytelling, Best Indie Game, Best Audio. So it got some nominations and a few wins. Okay, so these guys might be up to something. Anyway, they're making Townfall. We don't know what the fuck it is. We haven't seen anything of it. All we know is it's being made. We know that. We know it's being made. But yeah, Silent Hill F, which is in 60s Japan, very interesting time period. Because it's 20 years, or at the minimum 15 years after the war, after World War II. So you have Japan rebuilding. I think we're about to be in post-war economic miracle era. Also, post-atomic era. You have, I think the American occupation had just recently ended. You have a lot of crazy things happening in Japan at this point in time. Really interesting. The 60s in Japan, that's something I haven't really seen, so that's going to be interesting to see. This girl fighting off demons and shit. It looks terrifying. There was a scene where they're cutting off their face. Crazy. Just absolutely nuts. I really hope they go into what the fuck is going on, and maybe Silent Hill and the cult is growing around the world and isn't just completely standalone. Like Anthology, Silent Hill in name only. But even if it is, and I just want it to be good, but I would just I like the lore shit. The lore shit's cool. But yeah, Silent Hill F looks great. Everything they showed looks incredible. So excited for it. I love Silent Hill. What we got next? Romeo's a Dead Man. Oh yeah, the very obvious Grasshopper Suda51 game. Looks really weird. I don't know how to fucking describe it. Pragmata finally returns after, 2-3 years ago? May have been longer than that. Which is the game, they're like, oh, we're on the moon. Oh, it's not actually the moon, or some weird stuff. Got the dude in the armor, and he's with the little girl, all that stuff. And then finally got a trailer of it saying, hey, it's coming soon, 2026. And a lot of action. They showed off gameplay, cutscenes. It looks really cool. Some people think it might be a secret Mega Man game because she has a freaking Mega Buster on her arm. And you're fighting weird alien monster guys or zombie guys. Anyway, I called it Dad Space because that's what it is. You're this Isaac Clarke looking motherfucker protecting this little girl against zombie hordes and shit in Dead Space armor. It's Dad Space. That's what it is. It's Dad Space. Neo 3. Haven't really played any of the Neo games, but I lost my train of thought there. Haven't really played them. But Team Ninja, I've played a lot of their games. They're good. I'm surprised we're already getting Neo 3, especially since Team Ninja, they've been busy. Real busy. They're also working on Ninja Gaiden 4. Speaking of which, another Ninja Gaiden got announced, a 2D side-scroller. Looks cool. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, which isn't it all of the Mortal Kombats. But hold on. Did they say what's in it? Oh, there's also documentaries in it as well. So, multiple playable games from the early days of this groundbreaking fighting franchise, as well as interactive documentaries, which I would be more interested in. But yeah, more Mortal Kombat that looks cool. They showed off more of the Snake Eater remake, and I don't know what to fucking think of this. Like, it looks beautiful, but it also just looks like Snake Eater. Like, with Silent Hill 2, I was worried they were going to change too much, or make a bunch of unnecessary, weird, stupid changes. But with Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, or I guess they're calling it Metal Gear Solid Delta, it just looks like Snake Eater, but prettier. Which, is fine. But, I mean, we've gotten so many different versions of Snake Eater, I don't know if I need another one. Might pick it up, it might be fun. It's coming out 28th of August. I mean, if it's Snake Eater, it'll be good. But, I don't know, maybe they're hiding it. Maybe it's kind of like Silent Hill 2 Remake, where everything they showed actually didn't show what the game is about, but it just looks like more Snake Eater. Which, again, isn't bad. I'm all for that, but I've played Snake Eater like 5-6 times. I'm kind of Snake Eatered out, if it's only Snake Eater. Now, this could be them maybe they're going to go through all of them, and Snake Eater is technically the beginning. Because you start Snake Eater, and then you would go Snake Eater, what's the PSP one? Not Mobile Ops. What's that fucking game called? Not Acid. They also released it. When they did the HD versions, they put it on console. Peace Walker. So you go Peace Walker, and then I think you would do 5, and then you would do Metal Gear 1 and 2, and then Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 4. So they might be doing kind of what Resident Evil is doing with their remakes, and like just kind of, I guess pruning their timeline, making things a lot simpler. Could be. I don't know. This is the first game, so we don't know. I just know they're starting at Snake Eater. That's probably for a reason. Other than that, they just want more Snake Eater. My opinion, let's do one of the other games. We haven't got a remake of 2. There's one remake of the first game, or of the first Solid, and that's on the GameCube. I'd like to see a remake of that, kind of like getting the best of both worlds, because some people didn't like Twin Snakes, but getting the best of both worlds on that. Or how about we just get Metal Gear Solid 4 and we can play it again, because that would be great. I'd love to play Metal Gear Solid 4 again. I love that game. I was kind of hoping it was going to come out soon because they released that collection and called it Volume 1, which implies the existence of an eventual Volume 2. And there's not that many Metal Gear games. So, come fuck on, guys. That one already had 1, 2, and 3. So, 4? Come on. Actually, what else? What else would be in it? Hold on, let me what did Volume 1 have? What were all the games in Volume 1? So yeah, 1, 2, and 3. And then did they have... I guess if you got the Master Collection, there's bonus content, which it's got the first 2 like arcade games. I don't know what that is. Can I open this image and actually look at it? Thank you. You get the VR missions as well. You get Metal Gear. You get Snake's Revenge. You also get Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. You also get the FC version and NES version of Metal Gear. And then you get... Oh, looky there. the tactical graphical novels of Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Solid 2, plus a digital soundtrack. So they don't have Acid in there, or Peace Walker, or they're not going to do mobile ops, but they don't have mobile ops. There's 2 Acid games, Peace Walker, mobile ops. There's Metal Gear Survive, fuck that game, and then Metal Gear Solid 4, 5. That's it. Man, if Volume 2 comes out and it's just all like the bullshit and not like the games we want, I'm going to be really mad. But where is Volume 2? Master Collection came out a while back. Where the hell is Volume 2? When's that coming out? I want it. I want... Why is it taking so long? Where is Metal Gear Solid 4? Come on, man. Just give it to me. Volume 1 was released back in 2023. What the fuck's going on? Anyway. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with this Metal Gear game. They started this show, The State of Play, with the announcement that Luminous is coming back. Anybody remember Luminous? It's a great little puzzle, kind of like music puzzle game. It's also beautiful. Looks like they're doing the Tetris effect thing, but with Luminous, which I'm all for. Luminous is great. I'll play it. Did they give a release date for that? I don't think so. No. It's coming out. Hiragami, don't know what that is. They showed off more of Ghost of Yotei, which looks great. They didn't give a release date for that. Interesting. More Hot Shots Golf, a Digimon Story Time Stranger game, which I thought was a Persona game until Digimon showed up. Bloodstain's getting a sequel. Looks pretty cool. I haven't played the first one, but that looks cool. Babe Steps a weird game. Astrobot's getting new levels. Astrobot's great. Go play it. What were the big ones that caught my idea? More Hot Shots Golf. Final Fantasy Tactics finally getting remade. Getting enhanced, which fully voiced dialogue, optimized and updated UI, graphical improvements, and a number of other quality of life features. It looks great. We're finally getting more Final Fantasy Tactics. By more, I mean it's the same fucking game, but we're finally getting it again for the first time in nearly 30 years. September 30th. Looks like it's going to be great. Final Fantasy Tactics is a great game. Play it. Big surprise. Arc Sys announced a fighting game. Arc System Works, announces a fighting game. Not that big a surprise. That's kind of what they do. The big surprise is that it's a Marvel fighting game. Token. Fighting Souls. Very Marvel anime inspired. Looks great. Don't think there was a release date with that one, but looks awesome. I thought it was going to be Marvel vs. Capcom. I'm like, holy shit, Capcom. And they're like, Arc System Works. I'm like, whoa, that's new. So yeah, Arc System Works just putting in lots of work. They also announced some kind of controller, like a fighting pad. Looks cool, whatever. So this one, I was like, because I'm not doing a giveaway on Twitch where I'm giving away my personal PS5 once I hit a subscriber goal. You can go check me out, the Autistic Cowboy, if you want to, become part of that. Because I don't really play my PS5. And I need money, and I was like, I could just sell it. But, it'd be fun. One, can grow the channel, get more of an audience, while also giving it to someone who wins. So use it in a way to further my career and make someone's life better all at the same time. Especially since PS5s are getting even more expensive. But I just don't play the damn thing. And then this reveal happened. Thief Legacy of Shadow VR. Being shown on PSVR 2, and I was like, oh my god, now I can't do this anymore, because now I have to save up to figure out a way to save up money, hound people so I can buy a PlayStation VR so I can play this. It's another Thief game. You're some woman. Did they give her name? I don't remember. I just know you're not Garrett, but you find his eye and it inserts itself into your socket, because it gets a mechanical eye at the end of Thief 1. And then it inserts itself into your socket, and then he starts talking to you because apparently he's inside the eye or something. I don't know. All I know, and it's the original voice actor. He sounds great. It looks so cool. Thief in VR, just like a match made in heaven. It looks great. It's also available on everything else. It's not just PlayStation VR 2 exclusive. so I can still give the PS5 away and get it on the MetaQuest instead. But holy crap, was not expecting that. That was insane. I love Thief. Thief is great. We need more Thief. Thief VR, I will play the absolute shit out of that. And then, I think this is the last thing for PlayStation. Out of nowhere, out of the shadows, in which I was not expecting, James Bond shows up. Now, IO Interactive has been working on this game for a while. I think it got announced back in 2020. They finally show it off. Finally show what he looks like and all that good stuff. And I am so fucking excited for this game. It looks like it's going to be an origin story, but more so than what Casino Royale already was. We're getting an original story, but it looks like we're going to be hitting some... We're going to be hitting some... what do you call them? Some hits. I guess hitting the hits, you know, not the greatest hits, not all of them, but they specifically used a song from On Her Majesty's Secret Service in this trailer, and I don't think that was a mistake or random, because why not just use James Bond's theme, right? They could have showed off an original song, and they might be working on one. They just don't have it done yet, but usually just use the James Bond theme, but instead they decided to use the one from Our Majesty's Secret Service, which means that this game is probably a lot bigger than we think. It's going to start before he was a 00 agent. It's going to start back when he was in the Navy, the Royal Navy, and then shows how he got to be a 00 and all that good stuff, yada, yada, yada. But it looks like there's going to be a lot more to it. It's by the Hitman guys. We know they know how to do good stuff. I don't know if it's going to be one big game or if they're also going to do like the DLC episodic crap again. I kind of hope not. I kind of hope they do both. I want a full-fledged game, but then like add to it. Give me more missions and such. But yeah, Bond's this face looks a lot like it does in the sketch that Ian Fleming did. He has his scar finally. He's the first guy. It's the first Bond to have a scar. No idea who's playing Bond. They don't say. Also, James Bond's like the only guy who's named. Like, they didn't say Q, they didn't say M, they didn't say, they didn't say Moneypenny. I got an idea of who some of these people are. You know, like, when they're talking, I'm like, that's probably Moneypenny, that's probably M, and so on and so forth. But they didn't name them for some reason, and we don't know who's playing them. Also, Bond does look a little strange. There's something about his hair that seems strange to me. That, and they show him more in streetwear instead of in suits and such. And he's young, really young. They say he's about 26. And young Bond isn't a problem, necessarily. What bugs me is they seem to be really altering his story. Because, yes, he didn't start off old. You know, everybody has to start somewhere. But, and this probably has to do with it being a modern Bond story. Bond was originally written after World War II and was a World War II soldier. He served pretty much the entire length of the war. And then, after the war, because he's based off of Christopher Lee and Ian Fleming, because Christopher Lee was Ian Fleming's cousin, and they both were in World War II and worked in espionage. And he kind of based it off both of their experiences. But Bond was in World War II the entirety of the war, and then was in the Royal Navy for a bit after that, and then doesn't do his first mission, or his first real mission, as an MI6 agent until about 1953. So, even if Bond got into the war at 18, and even if it was 1940, not 1939, he was probably going to be in his 30s by the time he does his first mission. At least 30. So him being a little bit younger is interesting. But then again, we're not in a world war. Wars change. They're not as big or as long-lasting as they used to be. Technically, they're longer-lasting, but in different ways. So it's not like he had to be in the military the entire time like he did. Like, once you were in World War II, you couldn't really get out till the war was over. You weren't just doing little skirmishes here and there. So it's interesting. It makes sense, but I just thought that was strange. But there were a lot of Easter eggs and hints in that trailer. I think this game's a lot longer and a lot larger than we think it's going to be. I don't think it's just going to be one story. Like, oh, here's your mission, kind of like the movies and the books are. Here's your one mission. Oh, finish the mission. Oh, there you go, Bond. because they reference things that don't happen until much later in his life. Even though it's following its own canon, and there's still different events that happen later. They can't happen before Bond becomes becomes 007. They can't happen after certain things. Like on Her Majesty's Secret Service is so important because it is the fourth or fifth. I mean, the movie's the fourth or fifth movie, but it's you get that's when he leaves MI6 again, finally figures out, or basically repairs himself after the horribleness that happened with Vesper and being betrayed and all that stuff, and then gets married and is like, I'm gonna settle down, I'm gonna leave, and they're like, okay, whatever. And then on his wedding day, his wife gets killed, and then he becomes James Bond. Like, he basically loses his humanity in a way. At least for a bit. He regains it again later, but he kind of loses it because then he has a one-track mind and is like, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. He killed my wife. I'm going to hunt him down. I'm going to kill him. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. So, this is how this is going to go. So, let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, really? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So On Her Majesty's Secret Service is the 11th book. We seem to be getting more of a book Bond, and that's 10 years after Casino Royale. So he took a while to get over what happened at Casino Royale and being betrayed by the love of his life. But then some shit happens. They also established Blofeld and a bunch of other stuff. I didn't realize Moonraker was a third book. That's interesting. That's crazy. Also, the books are very different than the movies. But, like, a lot happens. He grows. There's a big character arc that happens in between these stories. So the fact that they're referencing that and that you might see James Bond become just an absolute menace to society for a little bit would be crazy. The game looks great. There's no release date. Just says launches next year on all consoles. I cannot wait for this game. Holy shit, I'm so excited. We're finally getting another Bond game. It's been a while. But that was PlayStation. That was everything they announced. And it was pretty cool, pretty exciting, but a lot of third-party stuff. I thought it was fun. Some people were really high on it. Some people were really low on it. I know I seem to be higher on a lot of these shows than most people, mainly because even if there's stuff that I know I'm not going to play, I'm still excited for it because I'm excited to see good art, and I'm excited to see people reveal their art and show it to us. Be like, hey, here's what we've been working on. Isn't this awesome? It's like, oh, yeah, this looks fun. Oh, this is great. Good for you. And I'm excited for their excitement. And I'm excited that they get to do this. And then also I might play these games later. But if they're things that I'm not seeing that I immediately go, I got to play that, or I got to buy this, or things that I myself was looking forward to beforehand, I'm still excited to see these things because it's something that people have worked on very hard for a long time. So, I don't know. I mean, as long as it looks decently good, I'm excited for it. If it comes out and looks absolute dog shit, I'm not going to be. But it's like, still, it's like, I don't understand. It's just, I didn't get everything I wanted, so this was a terrible show. And it's like, well, it's even if you didn't get things that you were necessarily looking forward to, it still can be a good show. They can still show off good things. Like, I was incredibly excited for that Marvel fighting game announcement, and I'm not a fighting game guy, but it looked great, and it looks fun, and it's going to set the world on fire probably, and I may play it, I might not, but that was shocking, to say the least, to see that get revealed. But yeah, now we're going to go to Summer Game Fest. I'm going to try to hit just what catches my eye. There's a few things I know I want to talk about, but I'm going to go through the list and see, just make sure I don't forget anything. So let's take a look and see what they got. Oh yeah, Killer Inn, which is like it's like a whodunit murder mystery thing, but done a little bit differently. So, it's your social deduction game made by Square Enix of all people and Tactic Studios, And I remember there were some interesting things. It's not just another Amogus, but every time there's a murder, no matter what the person does, there is a clue that's left behind. There is something, and it can be random. And there's a lot of random generated stuff, and it has an interesting look. There was some stuff I was like, that looks like that could be fun. That's interesting. It's got a nice style, but the clues thing, that and it, there's all kinds of different weapons and such. But with certain things being random, and there also seems to be like a mystery going on around this mansion that you can also figure out, and other puzzles and such, which is cool on its own. But yeah, that looks like that might be fun. I remember that caught my eye. Deadpool VR looks awesome. Coming to the MetaQuest 3 and 3S. I wish I had a 3 and 3S because I want to play this game. I also want to play that Batman game. I got, give me money. But I really, this looks good. Neil Patrick Harris is playing Wade Wilson. It looks funny. It's got a good art style. It looks fun to play. I'm sure it's going to be good. Meta is kind of knocking out of the park with these games. Arc Raiders gets a release date of October 30th. I didn't play that game. I didn't know about it until people were being like, this is what Marathon should be. But apparently, its beta went over really well. People are very excited about it. It looks fun. It does look, admittedly, better than Marathon, though Marathon just has a prettier art style. Because that pop futurist thing looks cool. Too bad it's all stolen. But, yeah, it looks interesting. Looks fun. But it's finally getting a release date. I don't remember what Wildgate is. Oh yeah, if Hitman World of Assassination is getting Lashif as a elusive target, June 6th to July 6th. That was cool. I thought I owned that. Apparently I do not. Because I looked at all of my games that I own that I could download. I don't own Hitman World of Assassination. I played the shit out of it, but I don't own it. So I was like, well, I guess I can't play it. That sucks. Infinitesimals. Yeah, this is... I remember looking at this like, what is this? It's like you're aliens, but you're really, really small. So when you come to visit Earth, you're on like grass level, and you're fighting like ants and spiders. So it's like a more serious version of Grounded, which we'll talk about that later. The Xbox show, they announced a sequel to that, which I was very surprised by. Because Grounded's awesome. It's really fun. But it's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids meets Mass Effect. I think I'll play that. It says it come out 2026. That looks interesting to me. I like the idea of there being like big space crazy adventure and like, oh, we got to talk to the council and do all this and then a grasshopper shows up and it's like, oh god, we got to fight the grasshopper. Just crazy. Because I mean, if you think about it, when we think about intelligent life and if there's extraterrestrials and all that, we think of them being like us, in so many different ways. But they don't necessarily have to be, right? They don't have to be humanoid. They don't even have to be carbon-based life forms. But we like to make all these grand assumptions. That or they're all like, these gray things. But they're usually about the same size as us. But there's no rule that says they have to be. They show up, they could be the size of a grasshopper. And that'd be crazy. But still be just as intelligent, if not more, than we are. And I bet waging war would be interesting. Against, a 2-inch tall people. Out of Words, a like co-op platformer that's like claymation, looks really pretty. I might play that. It's really pretty. It is really, really pretty. Handmade claymation always looks good, and claymation video games are just something that's always been really cool to me ever since Clay Fighters. And the story, I don't know what the story is actually going to be, but it seemed interesting. Looked fun. Fantastical. I definitely want to play it. Felt that boxing. This is insane. Because when I was watching it, at first I was like, what the fuck is this game? And then by the end of it, I'm like, I want to play this game. Because it looks funny, and it's a boxing game where you're puppets. Boxing. It's like Punch-Out or something, but you're puppets. So that's already weird. This game is incredible looking. This game is beautiful. When I was watching it, I thought it was just a trailer they made using puppets, and then you might get gameplay, might not. But then they said this is all in engine. This is what the game actually looks like. This is the most realistic. I can't believe these are CG puppets. They look like real. Though, on the main character, he's like orange and he has like this hair that goes straight up. There's a way the light hits these strands of hair that are going straight up and the way that they move. But only these strands of hair, or these strands of felt. Everything else looks like it's real hard to tell if it's real or fake. But these particular strands, there's something about the way they move and the way the light hits them that tells me they're fake or that it's CG. But other than that, I thought it was just a trailer where they were using real puppets. It's like, no, this is a video game. This might be one of the best looking video games ever made. I can't believe it looks this real. Unreal Engine 5 is incredible when people actually use it right. So yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Wu-Tang Clan game. What the fuck was that about? Like an action fighting RPG? When I thought this was... So Wu-Tang Rise of the Deceiver, at first, when they showed all the pictures and there was kind of like a ring, I thought it was a Def Jam game. And they're like, no, it's Wu-Tang. And I was like, oh, and I was really disappointed, followed by being incredibly hyped, being like, wait a minute, another Wu-Tang Clan game? It's been like 30 years since the first one. And that was an interesting game. This seems like a story-based RPG, possibly, with like fantastical powers inspired by the Wu-Tang Clan, and of course Kung Fu movies and such. That looks that crazy. I was not expecting to see a Wu-Tang Clan game. I don't know when it's coming out. Did they give a date? Nope, nothing. Soon, whatever. End of Abyss. Yeah, that's like the Section 9. Is that the Inside Guys? I know it kind of looks like Inside or like Little Nightmares. Like this kind of top-down, weird horror, survival horror game. Very off-putting. Scary. A really bad Nicktoons game. Yeah, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Get to be Hatsune Miku and Joker. From Persona 5. And also Steve from Minecraft. Whatever. Launching September 25th. Mortal Shell. Code Vein 2. Dying Like the Beast got shut off. We already knew about this. But it's coming out August 22nd. And it looks good. Though I noticed something about when they showed off gameplay. Maybe it could have been my stream was weird. But I think they've messed with the art style. Just a bit. I noticed there was like both photorealistic but also cell shading. I don't know. I'm probably gonna play this game. Dying Light's great. Dying Light 2 is a video game. We're finally going back to like the original character and expanding the story. I think it's gonna be good. I'll probably pick that up if possible, or I'll try to play it somehow. Lies of P gets a DLC. It's already out. Heard it was good, but that's not my type of game. Or I played a little bit of Lies of P, but I never finished it. Kept kicking my ass. That game angers me. I don't, even when I beat the bosses, like I did beat the boss, I don't feel good. Like I have gotten that elation from doing something really hard and completing it. But I don't get that from Souls games. I get that from some other games, but not Souls games. There's just something, I don't know. Mafia: The Old Country, little story trailer. Looks good. Apparently that game's going to be $50 for some reason. It's going to be cheaper than everybody else. That's a interesting strategy. I hope it pays off for them. Anyway, looks good. Mafia is usually good. I just hope it doesn't have the problems that Mafia 3 had. And I hope it actually plays. Plays well. Onimusha: Way of the Sword. They showed more of it. Looks awesome. Can't believe we're actually getting Onimusha sequel. Looks interesting. A lot different than I thought it was going to be, but also beautiful. Looks great. Lego Voyagers, an Annapurna interactive game where you're co-op. You're like 2 blocks building spaceships and shit. Looks fun. Meaning the Hollower. Oh yeah, this is like a little platformer. It's by the Shovel Knight guys. It actually looks kind of cool. I'll probably play that. Huge out of nowhere reveal. Scott Pilgrim sequel. Didn't see that coming. Holy shit, we're getting another Scott Pilgrim game. And it's not actually going to be an adaptation of the original story. It's something new. That's going to be awesome. Can't wait. Looks so good. Looks beautiful. Sounds beautiful. Going to be awesome. Did they give a release date for that? No, 2026. So, RGG, the Yakuza guys, revealed Project Century, I believe, last year. And then finally revealed its full title. And some more things. So, it's called Stranger Than Heaven. And the trailer they showed was in 1943. So, one, already interesting because it's in World War II Japan. But what's also interesting is Project Century was in 1915. So, apparently this game's going to take place over multiple time periods in Japan. I'm guessing if that project name was anything, maybe over a century. That'd be kind of cool. But I don't know what this game is actually going to be. I just know it looks beautiful. RGG makes good stuff. It seems to be kind of ambitious. So, I'm pretty excited. Pretty excited. You know what else I'm excited for? Munfish is going crazy. So they announced Atomic Heart 2, and it looks insane. It also looks horny as hell. But it's beautiful. Now, I know it's all just CG trailer bullshit, but I loved Atomic Heart. Atomic Heart was great. It also has an incredibly unique art style. One that's not stolen. And it was just so much fun. Very sci-fi, alternate Russian history thing. This seems to be way different. Same art style. Still very like Eastern Europe inspired, but it seems to be like far-flung future craziness. There was gameplay in there, and it seems to be a lot faster than Atomic Heart, even though Atomic Heart was deceiving because you watched the trailers for it and you thought it was going to be a lot slower than it actually turned out to be, and you're like having to do like dodge moves and shit while shooting. It's not a slow-paced immersive sim. It is a very fast-paced game in terms of the combat. And this looks even faster, and there's vehicle combat and all kinds of other shit. And they talk about a living world rich with possibilities. Places a heavy emphasis on story, role-playing elements, and player freedom. Story unfolds in an alternate history world, which the last one did too, but this one seems to be even crazier. So I don't know if it's actually following any of the same people or what, but this is nuts. And of course you got your sexy robots back, and more than that, you get regular women too. I think they might have been robots. I don't know. I just know there was a lot of ass in that trailer. But they were like, yeah, Atomic Heart 2 coming out when we get it done. Very, very excited. Can't wait. I mean, Atomic Heart, the first one, we just had a bunch of trailers for a long time until it finally came out. So, you know, I believe this one will come out too. Because when we got the trailers for that first game over years and years and years, we didn't know what the hell that game was going to be about either. And then it comes out and it's like, holy shit, this game's awesome. And then they were like, but we're not done. We're announcing another Atomic Heart game called The Cube. It's set in the Atomic Heart universe. It's a separate game and is also an MMO RPG shooter that takes place on a revolving cube world. And also, lots of ass in this game. These guys are horny. Like, nothing wrong with that. Just like, I was not expecting it to be that horny. Because the first game isn't that horny. I mean, you got the really sexy ballerina robot chicks that are doing, like, all the wrestling moves and shit on you. But, like, it isn't that horny. This game... These two games are, which cool, awesome, all about that. But like, they announced 2 games, both set in Atomic Heart, and they look incredible. I don't know when the hell they're going to come out. I hope they're good. I hope there's not some weird bullshit, but they are certainly biting off a lot. I hope it's not more than they can chew. But announcing 2 games, 2 Atomic Heart games, absolutely insane. And then Munfish wasn't done. This is probably the biggest surprise, at least to me, of the night. Outside of one that comes up later, but that was less surprising than this. Because this game, I didn't think was real. Ill. So Ill is a game that I first heard about years and years ago. And there's like a trailer showing some gameplay. But it doesn't look like actual gameplay. It looks like... Mainly because the arms and the gun position are weird. It looks like a concept, a CG concept that some guy made, but it doesn't look like this is ever playable. It looks like a video. you know, like a CG trailer, a mock-up that someone made. It doesn't look like this was ever playable. It just kind of looks like a concept. And the concept was weird horror shit, but with an incredibly sophisticated and graphic gore system. Like, you can blow off pieces of people and it all, like, falls apart realistically. It's very unsettling. It's hyper-realistic. And then the other ones are like these tone trailers where, like, there's the zombie disease thing, maybe. There's, like, this dude that eats a kid. That was fucked up. And it may not be just a disease. There might be, like, some supernatural bullshit. Don't know what's going on. But just a few of these, like, tone trailer and also concepts. And then, like, one other possible gameplay thing they released over the course of, like, 5 years, if not more. I know one was at least in 2020. I did go back and see what I could find. And it has been years, but I don't remember when the first one was actually posted. I know one of the ones I was looking at was in 2020. But it, you know, we got like something here, something there, but almost no information. Not even really information on who was making it, how far along it was, yada, yada, yada. This game looked like vaporware. Because when I was finding out about it, and it started getting hyped again, was around the same time a few other games were, including one that was like, people were like, oh, this is actually a secret Kojima game, and it might be actually be Silent Hill, and blah, 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 or some weird bullshit. And that guy doing all these weird teases. And then, I don't know what the hell happened to that, but it just disappeared. But I did find out that most of it was a hoax and had nothing to do with Kojima. But I thought there may have at least been like some game, but apparently that thing just disappeared. I don't know what happened. So we all got hoodwinked, I guess. But yeah, that, I don't know what the hell, that was a weird situation. But that was around the same time I was finding out about this, and I was like, oh, this is vaporware. I hope it's real. I hope it's real. But all the other videos that kept popping up about it were just the same gameplay things that had already been shown, just different compilations or people talking over it, blah, yada, yada, yada. Nothing, right? Until now, it's real, and it's coming out on consoles as well as PC. And they showed a lot of this game, and it's still just as intense. It's even gorier. They've changed how the people look. It seems to be either in Ukraine or Russia. I know they're using Soviet helicopters. Soviet-era helicopters in it at a point in time. It looks incredible. There's voice acting. There's gunplay. There's a lot of gameplay. They kick a weird demon baby at the end of it, which was the only funny part of the trailer. Which I think they did on purpose. They're like, we got to have some levity to this gut, not wrenching in the sad way, but gut wrenching in like the I want to throw up, this is so disgusting way. Because the hyper realistic gore is crazy. When you shoot someone in the head, the way they collapse and also the way that the bullet goes through and exits and everything, it's too real. There's something to this. It's unsettling, and on top of unsettling. So it's like it's fucked up on top of being fucked up. Just more and more and more because it keeps getting. Then there's like these weird like thing-like creatures, Dead Space-like stuff. There's a bunch of weird shit. I love horror. I hope it's great. I can't wait to play it. Don't know when it's coming out. I think it's got like a coming soon or 2026 thing. It's not listed here on Polygon. Before I get to that, there was one other thing. There was like this game. What was this? I mean, the big one, Resident Evil. They teased this thing like the entire show to the point where I didn't think it was actually going to show up. So when the last trailer of the night shows up, I was like, oh, that's RE Engine, but Capcom's already talked about several other things today. I wonder what this is actually going to be. Right? And since I didn't think they were actually going to show it that night, and then they did. Resident Evil 9 Requiem looks insane. Absolutely insane. Don't know what the hell it's going to be. I know you're a character that's the daughter of Ashley Ravencroft, or Ashcroft, I mean, or Alyssa Ashcroft from Resident Evil Outbreak, which is interesting. It's a weird pull. A very weird pull. But like, they said it's like it's going to be different than any other You know, they always say shit like that. Any other Resident Evil, it's going to take it to new places, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know what the hell that means. Oh, excuse me. I don't know what the hell that means. Nobody does. Nobody knows what that means. Okay, so apparently that site I had didn't have all of the announcements on it, but this one does. Because I was like, wait a minute, there was more than just that. Oh yeah, the Splitgate 2 guy just being an absolute idiot. But then apologized for it. And, I was like, yeah, there's more than that. I was wanting to look for one game in particular. There was this, I don't remember. Was it Fractured Blooms? I found a list that actually has everything, but it doesn't have fucking pictures next to it. It just has the names. And I can't. There was this weird game. It's also a Game of Thrones game. Who gives a shit? I don't care. They didn't even show gameplay for that. It's just like, you can change things so you can make the ending of it not suck. Oh, who cares, man? Fractured Blooms. So it's like
kick out of this.
Whoa. So it's like, oh, you're farming or gardening, and also there's like this weird anime girl, despite the world around them not being anime. And it's like, oh, and you make dinner, and you do this, and don't you like farming? And then plates of blood and flesh, and something like that. And Jeff Keighley described it as
Announcement too.
I mean, shit. Let's see what he
Kick
says.
out of this announcement too.
Oh. I guess not. I thought he said what? Silent Hill meets... He compared it to something, and I remember being like, what does that mean? Because it wasn't Silent Hill meets like Stardew Valley. It was two things that were equally fucked up. What did he call it? Inspired by a true story. I missed that part. But it's like, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, farming simulation and also weird shit. And then you're like cutting up a tomato, but it might not be a tomato. It might actually be flesh. And there's like weird like schizophrenia blood flowers and vines and shit showing up, and there might be a ghost. It looked interesting. I definitely kind of want to play it. Now of course not as big of a reveal as Resident Evil 9, but I was like, that looks cool. That looks cool. What did he say? Silent Hill meets... Oh yeah, Doki Doki Literature Club meets Silent Hill. Yeah, that's what he said, and I was like, that's real interesting. Those are... Wow. What the fuck does that even mean? So yeah. But yeah, of course, Resident Evil 9, they're like, a new character. We didn't see anyone else. We heard some voices, but I couldn't pin who these people were supposed to be. Interesting. So we got someone we've never seen before who's related to someone we had who is dead now, but none of the old crew. We saw the remnants of Raccoon City because apparently we're going back to the bombed crater, which hasn't been rebuilt. It's been 30 years. You think they would have done something? Like what the hell? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that means. Some people are saying it might be open world. I don't know. They didn't give a whole lot of information on it, but Resident Evil 9 coming out in February. Very excited. Of course, I'm going to play it. There was a game I wanted to... Before we get on to Xbox, because the... before we get on the Xbox thing, there was a game I found about the game I just talked about before, Resident Evil. What was that? Bloom something. Why am I already forgetting the name? I just looked this thing up. Fractured Blooms. That reminded me of another game I just found out about. There it is, Grave Seasons, which is like Stardew Valley, but with serial killers. And you're this dude, shows up, doing your farming, simulating shit, right? In your nice little, beautiful art style. Not exactly pixel art, but very, very beautiful. But then weird shit's going on in town. Some of it's supernatural. Also, there's a serial killer because there's a streak of murders in the town. You hope you don't romance the serial killer by accident. That would suck. So you're trying to solve a mystery or just trying to survive. And I'm like, well, that's an interesting way to do it. And there's pictures of some really scary looking scenes. Also, a werewolf maybe. That's going to be weird. But the really cool thing about this game, Grave Seasons, that I noticed, they said every experience will be different because every time you start a new save or start a new game, it picks a different killer. So it's never the same guy. Different killer or killers. It's all random. So while technically I guess you could play it enough to where you get everybody and get all the different different branches, still it's not just one way. And, it's random every time, and that's cool. So no matter what you do, no matter how many times you play it, I guess you could get to a certain point in time, but you could play it a bunch before trying to figure out who is who. Because you can also get the same person a bunch of times in a row. But yeah, early development, no release date yet, but it looks good. I can't wait to play it. Yeah, that reminded me. Anyway, on to Xbox. Let me take a sip. Good old Xbox. A lot of good stuff. Indiana Jones DLC. I will play that. Story DLC, absolutely. Coming in 2026. Or no. This article is formatted strange. September 4th, 2025. I will play that. Grounded 2, which is... I wasn't expecting that because Obsidian's working on the Outer Worlds 2, and they're like, yeah, and we've got Grounded 2 coming out too in fall 2025. All right. Outer Worlds 2 you got to look at, and they did an even deeper dive later on in their own showcase coming out in October. Looks beautiful. Looks awesome. Looks even better than the first one, and I really like the first one. The gameplay looks so much faster. I like the debuffs, what they call them, because you don't always get perks. You get certain things that have buffs and debuffs. So it's like there's this thing that increases your speed, especially when crouching, and your stealth. However, when you stand up, your knees pop so loud it alerts everybody within a certain area. That's really, really fucking funny. I cannot wait. That game's going to be fun. Fallout 76 Gone Fishing update. You can now fish. And I have. I have been fishing in Fallout 76 because it's fun. Awesome. I love Fallout 76. I can't believe they turned that game around. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 remake launching July 2025, and I'm going to play the shit out of that. Looks awesome. The Ninja Turtles are in it. Bam Margera's back. It's good to see him finally coming back. It looks like rehab's working out well for him. Good for him. I like to see people getting shit together. But yeah, I'm going to play the hell out of that. Looks great. Looks beautiful. Gears of War Reloaded. Not much to say there. Persona 4 Revival got a teaser trailer. A very brief teaser trailer. With no release date or really anything else. 7 seconds of gameplay. But yeah, this was leaked and then rumored well beforehand, which is strange because with how much it was talked about beforehand, I thought they were going to show a hell of a lot more than just, yeah, it's real. Final Fantasy 16 available now on Xbox. So no longer platform exclusive. And then Final Fantasy 7 Remake coming to Xbox later. Forgot how long they said. I just know it's later. But that's going to be awesome. High on Life 2 got announced. No gameplay, just a cinematic trailer. But it's interesting to me that game is even coming out. What with all the stuff that happened with Justin Roiland. So, unless he's not part of this, but that would be kind of weird if he wasn't, I guess, because he's kind of like the driving force of that game and does all the voices, whatever. Resonance, A Plague Tale Legacy. So when I saw this game, I was like, oh, that looks cool, that looks interesting, blah, 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 blah. Then they're like, yeah, it's a Plague Tale game. Fucking blown away. Can't believe, what? There's no rats in this trailer. I don't know how the hell it relates to Plague Tale, but because it's not just by the same people. It's specifically Plague Tale Legacy, so it has to do with the same series. Looks great. Can't wait. Plague Tale series is fantastic. Underrated. Everybody should play those. Xbox announces their sort of handheld, which is just the Xbox version of the ROG Ally and Ally X, which already exist, by the way. But this is their version that is specifically built by the Xbox engineers and software developers and whatever, and also has a new chipset and all the other good stuff, yada, yada, yada. Looks cool, but they didn't announce a price or a release date. They just said winter 2025. That's it. That's all we know. And along that, they showed Silksong a lot being played on this thing, and said that Silksong will be on Game Pass and launch at the same time as this handheld device. But again, didn't give a date for the handheld, so we don't know when the hell that's going to be. We just know that it's coming out on the handheld. The Xbox Ally. And I think that's interesting. I mean, I guess it makes sense to just already partner with someone who's already doing this shit, so you don't have to figure out the hardware side, and they've already developing it and manufacturing it. It's like, hey, let us use your shit and make something with it instead of having to build something from scratch. I guess it makes sense. I mean, since they aren't going to do something that's proprietary and that... Because I wasn't expecting this thing... It would have been cool. This thing to have like a tray that pops out in the back and you put CDs into it. Or them doing like what handhelds used to be, which used to be their own platform with their own games. Like the PSP, PS Vita, all the Game Boys, all the DSs. So since we're not going in that direction, I mean, might as well just do this. It's already a handheld gaming PC. Might as well just put the Xbox spin on it, update it, make it better, and make it ours. That makes sense. But that thing is going to be like $1,000. The current ROG Ally is $899.99. So at very limited. I mean, Jesus, like, that's expensive. Or whatever. The Blood of Dawnwalker. Apparently, these are ex-Witcher devs or ex-CD Projekt Red devs who just kind of want to make their own Witcher game without the Witcher. It's a vampire game. Vampires are taking over the world. They've come out of hiding. It's like in sort of medieval times. You get turned into a vampire, but you are different. You're the Dawnwalker. Basically, you're White Blade. That's who you are, which is cool. I'll be Blade. I want to be Blade, even if he is white and whatever. That's weird. He's not as cool, but whatever. I'll be Blade. I want to be like Blade. I want to live up to Blade. So yeah, and did they say when's it gonna release? 2026. Yeah, whatever. I want to play it. It looks fun. I like vampire games. Vampire stuff, good. More of Ninja Gaiden 4. Gonna come out 21st of October. That's gonna be fun. Oh, it's developed by Platinum Games. I missed that. I thought it was Team Ninja. Oh, shit. How did I miss that? Okay. Weird. That's interesting. I guess that makes sense. How Team Ninja was able to do all this crap because they're not. They're just working on Neo 3. Super Meat Boy 3D got announced. I'm going to play the fuck out of this game. Weird that it's taken so long. Also weird that it's coming out 2026 and not like available now, but whatever. I'll play it when it's here. Looks great. Can't wait to play it. Super Meat Boy's awesome. Then a big surprise as this weird like RPG action game where you're fighting weird looking monsters and it's all 4K and pretty and everything, and then Game Freak comes up on the screens. The freaking Pokemon guys. Though there was a part in the trailer where like the frame rate absolutely eats shit, so that's kind of on brand. But what's funny about this is like, hey, Game Freak, why can you make games that look like this when it's not Pokemon? Like, what the hell? And don't say it's because of the Switch and the lack of power, because that's bullshit. Because those Pokemon games look and run like absolute shit on the Switch. Breath of the Wild looks fantastic. So shut up. The Witcher 3 runs well. What's going on? Like, come on, guys. Like, shut up. There's not that much going on in a Pokemon game. I hate to break it to you. Not a whole lot. It's a turn-based game for one, so you can actually do more since there's not that many moving parts. And the art style isn't exactly detailed. It's not hyper detailed, so what the hell, Game Freak? Whatever. This game's probably gonna come out and run like shit. Who knows? I just know like something fucked up with Pokemon. They can't put out a regular video game when it's Pokemon. I just thought that was awesome. Also weird that it's at the Xbox showcase too. Anyway, next game. It looks incredible. We heard about this game a while back, and then finally we're getting more information, but no release date on it, despite showing a shit ton of this game. Breaking it down, like what it's about, what you can do, mechanics, story, yada, yada, yada. Clockwork Revolution. Looks like Bioshock, System Shock, Bioshock Infinite, mixed with a little Thief, and there was another game that it brought to mind. But it's very steampunk. It's a steampunk immersive sim, but with a lot more to it. Also some Fallout vibes. Dishonored, that's the other one that came to mind. And there seems to be a really crazy time travel and time change mechanic. And to me, that makes sense why this game is taking so long, because that seems like that could take some time to build out, considering it takes place over the entire game world. Because the bad guys in this game, how the rich keep staying rich despite revolutions and shit, is they invented a time machine that only they have access to. So when things happen that take them out of power, they just go back in time and reset it. But then one day, you, some random asshole thief, get the ability to manipulate time as well. So you have the power to fight back. Looks cool. Also seems to be some really in-depth like weapon customization and creation. Looks cool. Can't wait to play it. That game's probably a good long ways away. Chronos New Dawn. Bloober Team's new game looks kind of like Dead Space. It's the guy with the weird vagina helmet. It's very Dead Spacey. Very weird, but haunting. I'll give it that. Sci-fi, cosmic, kind of Lovecraftian survival horror. I'm all for that. Fall 2025. I'll play it when it comes out, most likely. Let me see here. Don't Nods, next game, Aphelion. Looks weird. I don't know what this game's about. You're like some weird lost astronaut or something. You're marooned on some weird planet. Looks weird. Looks fun. I don't know if I'll play it. I'm not really a Don't Nod fan. But a lot of people are. So, and they make interesting stuff. Speaking of interesting stuff, there are no ghosts at the Grand. This looked at first like it was, oh, you've inherited some weird hotel and you got to fix it up. And oh, and there might be some weird supernatural stuff. Oh, and it's cute and fun and everything. Which, on its own, I'll play it. That looks like fun. And then it's like, wait, there's a conspiracy here? And then there's also ghosts and weird shit and Lovecraftian portals. And also, you're in on it. And they're like, they don't suspect a thing. I'm trying to break in and learn its secrets. And you're talking to some weird people on the side. And there's a talking cat. I'll play it. I'm playing it. Can't wait. 2026. I don't know why everything is so far gone, but I'll play the hell out of that. Another interesting game, Mudang Two Hearts, a Korean game that looks like 8 different games in one. Like, first I was like, oh, is it one to be like Metal Gear Solid? Oh, no, is it like a zombie game? Oh, no, is this, what the hell is this? I don't know what's going on. Heavy action game, sort of horror inspired. They showed it looks like a bunch of different things, maybe a bunch of different characters. Beautiful looking graphics on this thing. Just absolutely incredible. But I don't know what the hell it's about. No one does. But I'll be lying if I said I wasn't interested. If it gets good reviews, I will play it whenever the hell it comes out. Because there's lots of like special powers. At first I thought it was just like, oh, it's going to be like a tactical shooter, maybe tactical survival horror. Oh no, those are like ghost powers. I don't know what's going on here. But yeah, I want to play it. Planet of Lana 2. Very pretty game. Don't know what it is. Some kind of platformer. Didn't know about the first one. But it looks beautiful. Solo Leveling and Rise. Whatever. A Nemo. Some weird Pokemon game. Or Pokemon-like. Catch pets and make them fight. At Fate's End. This is the Spiritfarer guys making another game. Where you pull a sword out of your neck and fight your sister. That's literally what they say in the trailer. I don't have any more information for you. All I know is it looks beautiful. It'll probably make you cry, too, because that's what the Spiritfarer guys do. That is what they do. Sea of Thieves update. Looks fun. Season 17. How do they do these seasons? Because that game hasn't been around for 17 years, so I don't know what the fuck's going on with these seasons. Invincible Versus, an Invincible fighting game made by the Killer Instinct guys. I'm hyped for that, though it did look weird. But apparently the game is very early, very very early. So what they that makes sense why what they showed looks a little weird. But yeah, Invincible's ripe for a fighting game. It might not have that much variety, but definitely could be fun, and also violent, but violent in a different way than Mortal Kombat. Like Mortal Kombat has some hyper violence, but there's something to it. There's like a camp to it in a way that lessens its impact, even though it is hyper violent. Whereas Invincible is hyper violent in a way that's like, this guy's a super soldier, but this guy's an alien that can punch asteroids, and he punches the super soldier, and then like half his body disappears. And you're like, oh my god! Like in the show, I mean, comics like this too, but in the show, when they find out Omni-Man's evil and he goes back to his house. And he realizes there's soldiers in there with him, but they're invisible. And there's one in front of him, and like he decloaks, and all he does is reach out and push him. And there's this island in his kitchen, and he pushes the guy through the island. So his legs stop at the beginning of the island, and then his top part of his torso gets cut in half, and then slides across the island and falls down. And all he does is like, it looks like he barely pushes him. That's how strong he is. That shit's scary. That shit is scary. So yeah. Double Fine showing back up, announcing a new game. I'll play anything Double Fine puts out. That's just Tim Schafer and Double Fine. They make good stuff. Called Keeper. Coming out in October. You're a sentient lighthouse that walks around and does shit. In a weird, like, decrepit, like, post-apocalyptic world. It seems like. I don't know. Look, I don't know what the hell it's about, but you can't say it's not interesting. You're a sentient lighthouse on a mission. Don't know what the hell that mission is, but you're on one. They make original shit. That's why we keep playing their games. Yeah, then Phil Spencer came out and talked about a bunch of games, but then didn't show anything. That was weird. It was like Fable, which we know Fable. Fable was come out this year, but got delayed. But they showed it before, but they decided to show nothing this time. He just talked about it. We know Gears of War E-Day is coming out next year. And it got shown before, but they didn't show anything else today. And then teases something Halo related, but then didn't actually use the words Halo. He just said a classic that's been with us since the beginning, which is fucking Halo, unless he's going to talk about Fusion Frenzy. It's Halo. And we did see something of Halo last time, but nothing this time. He just kind of mentions it in passing. Also, another Forza, but didn't show anything. He just said they're working on it. Just weird. Nothing on Perfect Dark, which I was a little bit sad to not see anything on. But I mean, we did see gameplay last time. I would think they would show something, but they didn't. Nothing on Blade. I would have thought they would have showed something on Blade just to keep people's hopes up, or be like, hey, even though we did shut down the other part of Arcane, and other Marvel games and superhero games are getting canceled, but here's Blade. We're still working on it. Just something. But no, didn't even mention it. Even though that's one of my big games that I'm looking out for, is the Dishonored guys making a fucking Blade game. Can't wait. But yeah, then they were like, and we got one more thing to show you. And it was fucking Black Ops 7. I don't understand why they did this. It's not that Call of Duty isn't a big reveal, or that people aren't excited for Call of Duty, or that you shouldn't be excited for Call of Duty. People buy Call of Duty. That's fine. People play it. I really liked the last one. That was a return to form. Until they fucked it up. But it was a return to form. Because weird AI, anti-union bullshit. But other than that, like, the story was good, the multiplayer was fun, the zombies was fun. Thought it was like, wow, I can't believe we did this. Finally back to it. And they showed off a trailer here that looks interesting. Like, it does look interesting. And I don't know what the hell's going on. And apparently it's actually a sequel this time, and not one of... We're on Black Ops 7, but very few of them have actually been sequels. A lot of them have been like prequels and shit. This one is actually taking place after Black Ops 2. Or I guess technically it'd be after 3. Because 3 was weird. 3 was... And this seems to be dealing with also 3 as well. Kind of like, you don't know what's real... And there's like weird digital artifacting and yada 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 and brain shit. Mason's back, and then also Menendez shows up. So yep, crazy shit. It looked cool. It looked so cool and weird that I, along with many other people, thought it was a different game. Like, we thought, is this fucking Control 2? Is this, something else Remedy's working on? Is this a horror game or something? They kept showing a butterfly, and I thought that butterfly was related to something else. I was like, wait a minute, butterfly, red butterfly. There's some game that uses something like that. No, not Fatal Frame. What is this going to be? And they're like, Black Ops 7. I'm like, what the fuck? It being Black Ops killed any momentum. And the reason isn't just because it's Call of Duty. It's where they placed it. If they had opened the show with that, completely different feel. I would have been like, man, that Black Ops 7 looks pretty cool. I can't wait to see what that's going to be. Treyarch's probably going to bust out something crazy, and I hope they do. But they put it at the end as their one more thing, which usually is safe for like their big reveal of the day. And this is not, nor should it ever be, a one more thing. Unless you're truly going to show something that changes the game, it should not be Call of Duty. Why? Because Call of Duty comes out every fucking year. We know that. We know there's going to be a Call of Duty this year. That's not a surprise. Why did they show this as their one more... They should have opened the show. If this would have opened the show, it would have set a tone. People would be like, oh man, that was cool. People would be looking at it differently and being like, yeah, I want to play Black Ops 7 because that trailer, that was different than anything we've really seen with Call of Duty. That's probably pretty crazy. I want to play this story, figure out what the hell's going on. This is really weird for Call of Duty. They didn't do like a bunch of action shots and shit. We didn't even know this was Call of Duty until it became Call of Duty 7 at Black Ops 7 at the end. But instead, everyone's talking about why the fuck did they show Call of Duty at the end of this show? Who gives a shit? Being placed at the end as your one more thing being revealed kills pretty much the vibe of the entire show and kills the hype for this next game. This should not have been the end. This should have been I think should have been at the beginning, but could have been really anywhere in the show. But at the beginning, I think would have set a tone. Because we know this game's coming out. And we know around when it's going to come out. They always release either in October or November. Every year. For, since Call of Duty 2? That was 20 years ago. That's not a reveal. And we also already knew this was going to be another Black Ops. We just didn't really know anything else. But there's nothing big about this reveal. not big enough for it to be the one more thing. Now, to reveal that it's at the very least going to be more story based is interesting, but not enough for your big reveal. Not for something that we already knew was going to come out, regardless if they talked about it or not. They could have not have shown Call of Duty at this show, and nobody for a second would have thought that Call of Duty wasn't coming out. They'd have been like, Call of Duty's still going to come out. They probably didn't talk about it because why the fuck would you talk about it? Like, it's coming out. We know it's coming out in October or November of this year because it happens every single year and has since for 20 years. It's not a surprise. Should have opened up the show. Should not have ended it. Your one more thing should have been something big. I don't know why they didn't show Fable. We know it's coming out next year. Kind of strange that they didn't just show it off because it was supposed to come out this year. It got delayed. So weird that they didn't do that. But if you're wondering, people were wondering, like, what would have been their one more thing? I don't know. I would have shown one of those games that you just kind of mentioned, didn't show anything. I would have showed something, maybe a little hint at Halo. What's going on with Halo? Just something to give us a little bit of a tease. But they just like to talk about it and didn't show anything, which was strange. Maybe show Blade. Maybe show any of these games. There's a bunch of games we already know about. Maybe Perfect Dark. Something. But if you want your one more thing to be something that's previously not announced, I do have something. It probably wouldn't have popped off, but it would have been a hell of a lot better than the saving Call of Duty. It should have been the ROG Xbox Ally. Put that at the end of the show. Being like, we showed you all these great games. We're going to have a hell of a year. Of 2025 and 2026 for Xbox. It's going to be great. But we got one more thing to show y'all. We've already shown you Call of Duty. We've shown you all these new games. We've shown you Ninja Gaiden 4 and all this, and DLC and all this. And, we got more stuff coming in the pipeline, including Fable, Forza, and all these things, and a game that's been with us since the beginning. But before we leave tonight, we got one more thing to show you. And then I would roll the trailer for the ROG Ally. For the Xbox Ally. Because, though there were a bunch of rumors and all kinds of other shit, that is a reveal. Confirming that it exists, that it's real, showing what it looks like, and actually got it kind of going in depth. Showing what it is, also pairing it with Silksong. Basically, everything that they did, just put it at a different point in the show. Put that at the end. Put Call of Duty at the beginning. Completely different feel. People walk away from going, man, Xbox got some shit this year. It's going to be pretty cool. I don't know what this mobile thing is, but when you end it with your big reveal not being a reveal, it's a well-known thing that comes out every fucking year. It's like revealing that you're going to have breakfast tomorrow or you're going to eat tomorrow. Unless you're in a very bad way, you already know that. That's going to happen. Revealing that you have to take a piss. Yeah, that's how the human body works. We have to piss every once in a while. That's a given. And I'm not saying that in terms of quality, it's going to be like that. Like, I actually think the Call of Duty game is probably pretty good if they try to tell a really good story. They have the ability. They've done it before. Treyarch knows what they're doing. But that to be your one more thing, your big last world premiere, is fucking stupid. You should put that at the beginning, set the tone for the show, make people think, oh, it looks interesting. I mean, it's Call of Duty, but that's interesting, that's fun. Get everybody pumped, and then end with, by the way, we're making a handheld device. We're partnering with ROG to make an Xbox handheld, kind of all this shit. Oh, and it's going to have Silksong on it, which is going to be on Game Pass day and date, and then Silksong's going to launch with our Xbox handheld whenever it launches. And then that's how you end the show. And then everybody's talking about, holy shit, can you believe they're doing this, instead of, I can't fucking believe they ended with fucking Call of Duty, acting like it's a surprise that a Call of Duty game is going to come out. One, we're already on the 7th entry of just Black Ops. Like, just Black Ops alone's not that exciting. Let alone, like, what, the 30th entry of Call of Duty, or I guess the 20th entry of Call of Duty altogether. Like, come on. That was just stupid. Everything else about the show, keep the same. Switch those 2 reveals. And you have a markedly better show. Just, I don't understand why they did that. You killed the hype for your own show, for the games that you've shown, and for Call of Duty. Like, in a vacuum, that's a very interesting trailer and does make me think about getting the next Call of Duty and playing it and playing the story and figuring out what's going on. But like that, it doesn't. At the end of the show, it makes me think, why the fuck did you put this here? It made me think you were going to show something good. And I'm not even thinking about the quality of what you actually showed. I'm just mad that you did this. But whatever. We've been talking for almost 2 hours, which is good. I'm giving you 2 hours of content. Technically more than that because I gave you that preview episode. And my throat is hurting. I need to go piss and then go lay down. But before that, I want to thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for everything that you've done. And support me on everything else, on the other channels, maybe the other shows, maybe the Twitch stream. Maybe donate if you'd like. And, since I'm unemployed and falling apart because layoffs suck and nobody else wants to hire. Maybe you want to do all that great stuff. Maybe you want to subscribe and get a chance to win a PS5. Who knows? Regardless, whatever you want to do, we thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And we will see y'all in the next one.